45-minute wait.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're here at the Magic Kingdom today. I'll be your host for today's live. My name is Jason Diffendahl. I'm here with Jill Diffendahl.
Hi, folks.
This is going to be the Diffendahl live stream for Sunday afternoon. Hello, Colin. Hello, Miguel. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Bianca. Hello, Raimi. Hello, Judy. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Deb. Hello, Karen. All right, so, wow, we got 81 people on the stream already.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. We're going to take a little walk around the Magic Kingdom for right now. It's kind of a dreary, it's not raining really right this second, but it's been drizzly and rainy all day. So we're going to take a look at what the Magic Kingdom at Halloween time looks like when we've got a lot of clouds in the sky. We started out over here at Casey's Corner, which is still closed, which may or may not be unfortunate depending on your opinion about Casey's. I think any of you.
Are down here and the fountain's gone here in front of First Aid.
We've got the little bit of a construction development over here in front of First Aid. The construction walls are down and the fountain's gone, so much more open area, especially since this place, when Casey's is open, gets awfully jammed up. Casey's is a tradition for us. I know a lot of people love it. It's just never been a thing for me. Hi, Jill and Jason from Mark Jacobs. Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Taking a little walk. Checking out the hub over there. Lots of people still hanging out. It's not quite as crowded today, but because of the weather, but there's still quite a good bit of people here in the Magic Kingdom. Interestingly, I think you can see a lineup of people here up along the walkway heading into Adventureland, and I'm gonna wager that that line is for the spring roll cart. So the spring roll cart just opened a couple days ago. Let's stroll in by and check out what they've got.
That is the line. Holy smokes.
Yep,
the line
here we go.
Goes back to the hub.
There's the spring roll cart. And here is the huge line for the spring roll cart.
All the way back to the hub.
All the way back to the hub. People really want these spring rolls. Let's see what they've got today.
Look at that. They've got spring rolls.
But what kind of spring rolls?
Oh, that's the key question.
That is the key question. It looks like today is a pepperoni pizza spring roll.
Cheeseburger and pepperoni.
No. Is anybody out there a spring roll cart fan? I've actually have to admit I have never had a spring roll from the spring roll cart because it's almost always closed every time I'm here.
We might have to do that later on towards the end of the stream if there's not a massive line.
If there's not a massive line and there are any spring rolls left, maybe we'll pick one up and check it out. Rolling right here past the Club 33 entrance in the former part of the former Adventureland veranda. You can see, I doubt anybody's up on the balcony today because of the weather.
People out earlier. They probably went inside because they saw us filming them.
I was there last weekend. It was very busy. Seems to be at 100% capacity. Well, I would say, I'm sure they're not operating at 100%, but they're full up to the capacity that they are allowing in right now. I think that's probably pretty accurate. Today is a little, maybe less busy. We were here on Thursday as well, which was the anniversary of the Magic Kingdom, and it was really busy that day. I think today might be a little bit better just because of the weather. Strolling on along, here's the Swiss Family Treehouse. We got some folks up there climbing through the treehouse. And then the world famous jungle cuisine of the Jungle Navigation Company, Skipper Canteen. For any WIGS members out there who are watching, we just filmed our latest episode of Detailed the other day at Skipper Canteen. It's going to be a 3-part series because if you've ever been to Skipper Canteen, you know there is a ton of stuff in there. A ton of super cool things with a lot of history around the Walt Disney Company. So we've got a 3-part series of Detailed coming up for you guys.
Just looking at wait
WIGS.
times.
All right.
Carousel of Progress is a 25-minute wait.
Let's hold up here for this sign for a second, and we're gonna check out wait times for you guys. Is the Beauty and the Beast shop next to Gaston's open yet? Not to my knowledge. Here we go. Jungle Cruise is 40. Pirates is 45.
Dumbo's 10. Small World's 25.
Peter Pan's Flight is only 30, which isn't bad for Peter Pan. Mine Train is 60. So we got some decent wait times, but I don't think they are quite as bad as they were the other day. We got some folks waving to the camera. We got some cool cosplayers going on over here. I will say, this trip between Thursday and today, we're seeing a lot of people in costumes here at the Magic Kingdom. For whatever else it's worth, I think the masks allow people to do some really neat costume stuff. With, you know, we saw a guy dressed as Nick Wilde from Zootopia the other day, and he had the mask on that kind of really complemented the outfit, so that was cool. We are heading through Adventureland. Magic carpets are running. Probably not the first choice of things I would want to do in the rain, but you know, little kids don't seem to care, and that's who that ride is for. Camel's not moving today, but we got enough water out here. We don't need any more coming from the camel. I love rides in the rain. It's refreshing. Sometimes it is. Depending on how much it's raining, though, it can be a little bit much. We were just talking with Tom earlier today about the time a couple months ago when we were in Hollywood Studios in the pouring rain and rode Slinky Dog. Now, Slinky Dog, when it is pouring rain, is downright painful. I wouldn't call that refreshing. Just hopped in. How is the crowd on Main Street today? It's not quite as bad as it's been. Like I said, I think because of the weather. Today was nice. As soon as we walked into the park, the Rainy Day Cavalcade was coming down the street, so that was cool. I've never gotten to see the Rainy Day parade before. It's fun. It's adorable. Gives you something new and different.
Wow.
Here we've got the line for Pirates. They've changed up the queue here a little bit, so there's a lot more extended queue outside of the attraction building than there used to be, which clearly they need right now. Pirates on the sign said it was a 30-minute wait, but this is kind of looking like it's a little bit more than a 30-minute wait.
It's long. There's Jack Sparrow.
Oh, we got Jack Sparrow hanging out. A little social distance meet and greet.
Oh, look. It's Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow.
Jet's hanging out. We got some people who are wanting to see Jack Sparrow get a picture. That's always cool. I think they've done a decent job with trying to accommodate some amount of character meet and greets, even though you obviously can't do it the way you used to. This is the end of the standby entrance for Pirates right here on the walkway into Frontierland. So it's wrapping all the way from that guy with the sign all the way back here, all the way back down, practically up to Jungle Cruise, and then wrapping back until you actually get into the building. That's quite a crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just stumbled upon Mr. Tom Corliss. We're going this way. Just kidding, that wasn't really Tom Corliss. No, it was, but he's just here doing some other work for WDWNT. A celebrity sighting. Yeah, nice shirt, Tom. I said that to him this morning. Those Haunted Mansion shirts are really nice.
The relaxation station.
You got the relaxation station over here. It really, yeah. I mean, you don't need to eat to go into the relaxation station and sit down and take off your mask, but it kind of seems like that's what most people are doing.
I think pretty much it's lunchtime and Pecos Bills is really crowded.
Pecos Bills is really crowded. There's all these people kind of hovering outside the door waiting for their mobile order to be ready.
So this is the entrance. After your mobile order is ready, they let you in.
I once got awful food poisoning at Pecos Bill. That is not a surprise. Actually, Pecos Bill, it's probably my favorite counter service option in this park. I like their burrito bowls. I always enjoy that. But yeah, not surprised that someone's gotten food poisoning here. Not shocking at all. So we got Splash Mountain over here this way. Rare Rabbit says hello to all you folks out there.
Thank you for visiting us today. Just a few reminders. Face coverings must fully cover your nose and mouth and be worn at all times, except for actively eating or drinking while sitting there.
Is Splash open? Splash is open. Let's take a look at some people coming down the big drop hill. Well, we got a boat right here with nobody in it, but the one that just came down the big hill had some folks in it.
This might be a cleaning pause where they spray down all of the boats and let them one trip a ride for the sanitizer to have time to work, and then they'll start filling them again. So my guess is that's what's going on right now, is they just started this cleaning procedure.
Right, you can see people coming down the big drop hill. There's still people in the boats, but these last 4 or 5 boats that have come out through the track down here are empty. Splash is listed as down on the app. Well, there's still some folks. Maybe it hasn't shut down yet. It's definitely not shut down. Somebody asked, when are they converting it to Tiana? So Disney has never given a timeline, and we've all expected it's highly unlikely they would take it down for refurb before the 50th next year. However, the other thing we are aware of is that a lot of the people who were working on this project are among the folks who got laid off or fired, depending on your perspective, last week. So a lot of the people who were working on the conversion to the Princess and the Frog ride don't work for Disney anymore. So this could be a long time coming. Let's continue on out over here. Check out over the other side of the bridge.
The line, the line for Big Thunder Mountain is now almost all the way back to the popcorn cart at Pecos Bill.
Wow, you can see that lady. Maybe you can see her on the where the bridge crosses over, right about here. She's got a sign that says end of line for Big Thunder Mountain. So yeah, the Big Thunder line goes all the way across the bridge and all the way back up into the attraction. So there are definitely some crazy long lines. It's crazy, no weekends anytime soon. So the last time I was here is about 6 weeks ago, which isn't that long in the grand scheme of things, but I was here on a Sunday and we were able to do pretty much every single attraction in one day on a Sunday 6 weeks ago. But the crowd levels have drastically changed in the last 6 weeks. It's very clear they are letting more people into the park now than they were 6 weeks ago. It's too crowded for me in the current environment. And yeah, like, I mean, you can kind of see there's quite a bit of clusters of people, especially over there outside of Pecosville. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot more, and Hollywood Studios, we were at Hollywood Studios on Friday, and there were a lot of people out at Hollywood Studios. Like, there were definitely parts of the park where it was hard to walk. You can see there's still splash boats coming down with nobody in them. So yeah, it definitely looks like they've initiated the cleaning cycle. The people that are on the ride are getting off, and then they're sending the boats through empty after they've sanitized them. Wait times are actually about 1/2 to 2/3 of published since 6 foot spacing. I have found that to be the case. Whatever the published wait time is, it's usually less than that for sure. It's maybe not quite as off now as it was the last time I was here. But, I mean, the last time I was here, I got in line for Mine Train, and it said a 30-minute wait, and it was probably about 13. So I think that's changed a little bit, and it's a little bit closer to accurate, but they're still off. I don't know. Depending on your taste, this walkway through Frontierland might be a little too crowded. There's definitely, you can see there's a lot of people here today.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some folks up here.
Oh, look at this.
Every year about this time, your bells peal and awful shine. Ghosts and goblins, witches dance, and moan and groan their torture chants. Missing clothes and you will hear their singing just for you. Trick or treat, bum bum, trick or treat, trick or treat. Trick or treat, Halloween, and give a treat that's good to eat. If you want to keep life serene, do trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. The whole night through, little scallywags with fiendish gags can make it tough on you. So when ghosts and goblins by the score ring the bell on your front door, you better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. For Halloween, when the pumpkin shells cast evil spells. Your little white house turns green. Your little white house turns green. Your little white house turns green. Every post is got a witch's brew. And if you want your cake to circulate, oh, we can do that too. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. For Halloween, when ghosts and goblins by the score ring the bell on your front door, better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. Trick or treat, trick or treat, your nightmares will come true. Nightmares will come true.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Kadav Dan, the finest Southern California And you know what there, Shorty? I can tell by your cadaverous pallor you want to hear a song about happy months.
And the tombstones away, spooks come out for a swinging wake. Happy hearts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Don't close your eyes, don't try to hide or a silly spook. Hasten by your side, shrouded in a death disguise. They pretend to terrorize. Grinning ghosts come out to socialize, socialize. You hear the knell of a requiem bell, weird glows gleam where spirits dwell. Restless monks etherealize, rise and spooks of every size. Grinning ghosts come out to socialize, socialize. As the moon climbs high o'er the dead oak tree, spooks arrive for the midnight spree. Creepy creeps with eerie eyes start to shriek and harmonize. Grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
How about a hand for the other three fellers while you're at it? All right, Snake Eye, tell them the name of this next song.
That'd be my pleasure. This next song we're going to sing is a country tune entitled She Was Only a Farmer's Daughter, but All of the Horsemen Knew Her.
Man, I was thinking about another song.
No?
Actually, this next song, it makes me think of a word about, you know how we're right on the trail all day. One word comes to mind. You know what I'm talking about.
What's that?
The word is raw.
All right.
Ow.
Keep rolling, 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 though the streams are swollen. Keep them doggies rolling right. Through rain and wind and weather, hell bent for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side, by my side. All the things I'm missing, good hills, love, kissing, are waiting at the end of my ride, oh my ride. Move 'em on, head 'em up, head 'em up, move 'em on, head 'em up, rawhide. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, rawhide. Moving, 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 though they're disapproving. Keep them doggies moving right. Don't try to understand them, roll, throw, and brand them. Soon we'll be living high and wide, high and wide. My heart's calculating, my true love will be waiting at the end of my ride, oh my ride. Move 'em on, head 'em up, head 'em up, move 'em on, head 'em up, ride. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, ride 'em in, ride.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, what?
What kind of ghost haunts a hen house?
What kind?
A poultry geist.
Hey fellas,
Hey, what?
why didn't the skeleton cross the road?
Why?
He didn't have the guts.
Hey, I got one.
What's that?
Yeah. Why did the cannibal get kicked out of school?
Why?
He kept buttering up his teacher.
Delicious.
Yep.
Delicious.
I got one, have a me.
Okay.
What's the problem with twin witches?
What?
You can't tell which witch is which.
All right, folks, thank you very much. This next song is an old Western classic. It's called I Kissed Her in the Fog and Missed.
And if you're still around after that one, We're going to do another one of my favorites, a family classic entitled Get Off the Stove, Grandma. You're too old to ride the range. It's a guess.
All right, fellas, I think it's time we sing the song that everybody's been waiting for.
Which one is that?
The last one. Happy trails.
Buddy, 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 until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Well, we gotta get heading back to the bunkhouse. It's been fun singing for y'all, and I hope we see you again real soon. Just remember,
Always. No, never squat with your spurs on.
Happy
Trails to you
till we meet again.
Happy trails. Happy trails. Go on, kid.
That was the Kadav Dans, otherwise known as the Dapper Dans, during non-Halloween season. Some of you I saw in the chat during that performance were talking about Dapper Day, and just a point to make here is that Dapper Day has really nothing to do with the Dapper Dans. Dapper Day is one of those unofficial things that Disney fans kind of started doing. And so it's not at all run by Disney. It's just sort of an unofficial fan thing that happens a couple times every year. We've got some Chip and Dale action down here on the rivers of America. There we go. Chip and Dale on the Becky Thatcher pulling up to Aunt Polly's there, trying to get some lemonade, but I don't know if they're gonna.
We'll do a group one first. Yeah, you do a group one.
Oh, we had a super chat during the Cadaver Dance performance too. Thank you very much for that. Over 400 people watching live right now. We got 144 likes. Let's try to get that like number up a little bit. So while we're walking along here, if anybody who's watching and hasn't hit that like button, the thumbs up button, please do so. I saw a suggestion to take a ride on the riverboat. I think that's a good idea. What do you think, Jill?
I would actually love to take a ride on the riverboat. I've been meaning to do it for like my last 4 trips here, and just it's kind of the sort of thing that you never. It falls to the bottom of the list in terms of priority, but then you realize you haven't done it in forever. And since the riverboat is coming just around the river bend right now, that might be the perfect thing to do.
Especially when it looks like the line for the Haunted Mansion. I think a couple more people and the line for the Haunted Mansion would merge with the line for Big Thunder Mountain. That gives you an idea of the crowds today. Hello, hello. Here comes the riverboat pulling in. There's the riverboat coming in. Riverboat's pulling in. You can see the line for the Haunted Mansion wraps down and through the dock, the old Mike Fink keelboat's dock. So this is, what's the wait time on the app for the Haunted Mansion, Jill?
Checking right now.
Yeah, it moves fast because it's a continuously loading attraction, so the line keeps moving, but the fact that it's almost back, the line's pretty much back. It looks to me like to the Frontierland Shooting Arcade is where the line for the Haunted Mansion. It's listed as 45 minutes on the app, and I'd say that's probably pretty accurate. I don't know that it would be much less than that. Here comes the riverboat, the Liberty Belle pulling in. If you guys want us to take a ride on the riverboat, hit that like button for us right now. See if we can get to 200 likes before we get on the boat. Is it supposed to steam from the side? I mean, it's a steamboat. No one really specified where the steam has to come from. The riverboat in Paris just had a serious, I believe it was an electrical fire in the engine room. So we should be thankful that the boat's running, and hopefully that steam is not coming via some errant pathway, because these boats are old, ladies and gentlemen, very old, and certainly delicate. So the fact that this is running all day is somewhat remarkable. It takes obviously a lot of maintenance. We're at 197 likes. Let's see if we can hit 200 likes before we board the boat. There we go. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button. Also, hit the bell to subscribe. Wherever the bell is, hit it. Subscribe to WDW News Today here on YouTube, and get notifications every day for more live content. I did also see somebody during the Kadav Dan's performance asked, "Is Park Center on tonight?" I think either you were confused and are confusing Park Center with Pressing Issues, but no, Park Center is not on tonight. Pressing Issues is on tonight, 8 p.m. every Sunday night. Park Center's on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. So tune in for both of those. But yeah, Pressing Issues is on tonight. I will actually not be hosting tonight. Jill and I are flying home from Orlando this evening at about 7:30 p.m. So right about when the show would be starting, we'll be taking off. But you're going to be left in very capable hands. Rich Grafton is going to be on. Spencer Lloyd from Tokyo is going to be on. And
Talking about Beauty and the Beast tonight, isn't he?
yeah, Spencer's going to be talking about the new Beauty and the Beast ride that just opened in Tokyo.
He's been able to ride it, so he's going to be able to give you guys a first-hand discussion about what it was really like to ride Beauty and the Beast. So instead of just watching the ride-through videos and hearing comments on Twitter, you're going to actually get to hear it from the horse's mouth of somebody who's ridden the ride and can tell you all about what it's like.
And then also Ron Deanna's going to be on. Ron's been on a couple of times in the past, but Ron's going to be spearheading our new discussion segment that's going to happen during Pressing Issues for the next year. It's called, so if you saw yesterday or the day before, we published that new article, I guess it was Friday, published that new article called Timekeeping, which is our effort at a complete chronology of the Walt Disney World Resort. So Friday was the first weekly post in that series. There's going to be one post a week dealing with 1 year in the history of the Walt Disney World Resort, every week leading up into the 50th anniversary on October 1st, 2021. And so what Ron and I decided to do was we are going to use a bit of the time at the beginning of pressing issues each week to discuss the timekeeping article from that weekend, discuss any important points that happened during the year that we're talking about that week. And so that's going to be fun. And Ron Deanna's heading up the timekeeping series, and so he's going to be on to talk about it. We can see them sanitizing the riverboat here before letting any other passengers on. Obviously, leaning on the rails is pretty much one of the main things that people do on the riverboat. So yeah, tune into Pressing Issues tonight. Ron Deanna and crew are going to kick off the first segment of timekeeping, which is going to be, it's only going to be the first 20 minutes to half an hour of Pressing Issues. So don't worry, Pressing Issues is still going to be everything it always has been in the past, and if it runs over 2 hours because of the timekeeping segment in the beginning, then and so be it. We don't have a designated end time for the show, and so that's why we thought putting the timekeeping segment at the beginning makes a lot of sense. So like I said, if you haven't already read the article that came out on Friday, go dig that up and read it. Friday's article, the first in the series, basically talks about everything that was going on in the late 60s and into 1970 at the Walt Disney World, at what will become the Walt Disney World Resort. At that point, the construction is well underway in 1970, but that's where we started. That's where we started the series. Is the year before the Magic Kingdom opened. So as soon as the sanitation procedure is done, we're going to be getting on. We're going to be getting on the Liberty Belle here on the Rivers of America. And I think we'll probably head up to the front of the boat as to get away from the somewhat loud smokestacks here that are puffing away at the back. Hello, Lisa from Ohio. Thanks for joining us today. Those of you that are just joining us, right before we got over here to the riverboat landing, we took in a performance of the Kadav Dans in Frontierland. And so if you missed that and you're a big fan of the Dapper Dans, you should certainly check out either now or later on. Go ahead and rewind the live or start it from the beginning and get a peek at the Kadav Dans. And here we are, we're heading in. There's a character cavalcade coming down as we board the ship here.
Mark Jacobs in chat just said this riverboat was refurbished in 1996 and was renamed the current name, the Liberty Belle. That's actually 100% true. Thank you for that little factoid. Before that, this riverboat was the Richard F. Irvine. He was a Disney executive who helped oversee the planning and design of Walt Disney World. So that is the history of this boat. However, there is still a Richard F. Irvine boat. It is one of the ferry boats now that takes guests from the TTC to the Magic Kingdom.
So though the person asked about Meredith, she is there. She's right in the front. She's not on a horse though, probably due to the inclement weather today. I don't know if you can see her, but she is right in the front, right behind the two flag bearers.
For some reason I thought we were going to be in DAC today. That is actually true. We were going to go to DAC today. However, with the weather as it is, I think Animal Kingdom is probably the worst park to be in the rain. There's not a lot of places to hide out from it, and it would be really hard to live stream in the pouring rain. I know especially Eric Morton is our champ at pouring rain live streaming. So we thought we would try Magic Kingdom instead. There's a little bit more we can do. Thankfully, the rain is holding off right now. It's definitely really overcast, but there's no rain coming down at the moment, which is why the Princess Cavalcade is out right now. Earlier today, they had the rainy day cavalcade coming down Main Street, so I think they're getting out some of the other regular cavalcades now while they can, while the rain's not coming down. And you can see a huge mass of people following the cavalcade down the street. That is a lot of people right now.
And that's the ubiquitous princess float that's appeared in almost every parade ever at the Magic Kingdom. That's bringing up the rear of the cavalcade today. But yeah, there's a huge gaggle of people there walking behind the cavalcade. And you can see there's a lot of people on the walkway that are moving. I believe that is still the line for the Haunted Mansion. Yeah, so there's people standing still that are just there to watch the cavalcade. But there's, that's kind of I don't know where there's so many people here, I can't even actually really tell where the end of the mansion line is.
I'm surprised there's not, down there.
Down there.
On the bridge, that guy's got the sign for the end of the mansion line. That's how long the mansion line is.
There's the cast member with the sign for the end of the Haunted Mansion line. And it sounds like we're about ready to set sail here on the rivers of America.
Somebody in chat said, I'm so happy we went in August. Yeah, you should be happy you went in August. It's so remarkable the difference in crowd levels and wait times now than what it was in mid-August. I feel like there was probably about 6 to 8 weeks of this really sweet spot from when the parks opened until probably like late August, early September, where crowds were down, but they've definitely shot up a lot since then.
All passengers aboard. Cargo secured. All passengers boarded, sir.
Going in reverse.
Engine room. Reverse 1/4. Cast off bow line. Aye, aye, sir. Bow line away.
Yeah, somebody else is saying if you didn't go in July or August, you missed the chance of a lifetime. It really was. When we were down here, we talked a lot about how it was just this remarkable little blip in time of incredibly low crowds. I mean, we were here the first day the Magic Kingdom reopened, and it was, I mean, you could basically look up Main Street and there was hardly anyone. It was insane. But I don't think that time is coming back again. I think they've pushed the capacity up and it's not going back down.
Certainly the only other time in memory that I can remember it being that little crowds was back in 2002, 2003 after 9/11 during the economic downturn. It was pretty much, that's the closest thing that I can remember that it was like here in Walt Disney World in July and August.
Welcome to anybody who's just joining us on our live stream today from the Magic Kingdom. You've got Jason and Jill Diffendahl here taking you right now on a ride on the Liberty Belle through the rivers of America. So we took off from the dock and we're cruising past Frontierland. Got the shooting gallery up there. If you missed it earlier, once we finish up today, you can go back to the beginning of the live stream. We caught an awesome performance of the Kadav Dan right on top of the Country Bear Jamboree over there, on the little walkway over the passage to Adventureland. That is, I would say that is one of the things I love about Walt Disney World, and one of the things that helps keep me coming back every time is stuff like that, where you just stumble on this amazing little performance. You stumble upon characters walking down the street. Amazing little things happen all the time that just bring such joy, and I think it's why, those of you guys watching the stream right now have got to be huge Walt Disney World fans. We are too, and it's those sorts of things that just help keep you coming back every time and bringing you that little novel piece of joy. There's always something different. There's always something to bring a smile to your face.
Frontierland reminds me some of my own hometown, Hannibal. Takes me back to when I was a barefoot boy growing up alongside the riverbank. You know, it seems to me that when I was young, I could remember everything.
So if you look right here, that cast member is holding the sign for the end of the Big Thunder Mountain line. It was actually a little bit longer, about 20 minutes ago. It was all the way down to the popcorn cart, but that's the end of the line for the Big Thunder Mountain. That's gives you a sense of what the wait times are today.
Far-fetched, I know, but it's true. All my life, it seems I never could tell a lie. Anybody would doubt.
So somebody in chat said, on News Tonight, you said you didn't think crowds would come back for a long time, but it seems pretty crowded. You know what? 100% true. I think we all didn't think we would see this level of crowds for a while. In part, I think we didn't think that Disney would expand their capacity this much, but clearly they have. Earlier this morning, we went to Whispering Canyon at the Wilderness Lodge for breakfast. Now, the Wilderness Lodge is only open right now for DVC guests. It is not open for regular hotel guests. But that lobby was packed with people. The store was crowded with people. The Whispering Canyon reservations were backed up a good 15 to 20 minutes. Because there were so many people waiting to go to breakfast. Maybe they were stalling on going to the parks a little bit till the weather cleared up. But we were with Tom, and Tom was remarking how he doesn't remember seeing that many people in the lobby of the Wilderness Lodge even before coronavirus. That there are a lot of people out in the parks. There are a lot of people at the resorts. Personally, I think the annual pass holder 40% room discount that they're offering right now has helped a lot in bringing people out to the parks and bringing people to resorts. The other thing you'll notice right now, it's not just crowds, but if you look at the resort guest availability calendar, even up to 2-3 weeks ago, if you looked at the resort guest availability calendar for park reservations, you would see green every single day. Resort guests had, pick of the crop of where they wanted to go. You could change your reservation at a moment's notice and go to any park you wanted to go to. And now there are absolutely days where resort guests can't access every single park, especially on the weekends. And I think a lot of that is because locals and people from within driving distance are taking advantage of that AP room offer and spending some time down here in the parks and staying in the resorts. Friday morning when we went to Hollywood Studios, we took the Skyliner, and that Skyliner station at Caribbean Beach, which is the main switch point where people are coming in from the Epcot resorts, people are coming in from Caribbean Beach, and people are coming in from Pop Century and Art of Animation. That Skyliner station was mobbed with people trying to go to studios on Friday morning, and it's because they're all resort guests. So the resorts are definitely seeing a lot of people right now, and like I said, I think a lot of that is that AP room discount.
I don't know if you can see in the water, but it's starting to rain a little harder here. Since we started the stream close to an hour ago, it was really, really light rain. And it's definitely starting to rain a little bit harder now.
Yeah. Oh, and David mentioned that it's not just APs, but Florida residents and residents of the southeastern U.S. I know, like Georgia, South Carolina, they're all getting room discounts as well, based on the fact that they're close to Walt Disney World, and I think they're trying to encourage people within driving distance. I do think a lot of people are still a little skittish about flying, but they're encouraging people within driving distance to drive here and stay in the hotels. So it's not just APs that are getting that room discount, but locals and people within driving discounts are getting those discounts and taking advantage of them right now.
Look, Jill, that cabin looks like it might have been on fire and the rain put it out.
God, I miss this river. I haven't seen this river and these crops in a really long time, and it's really cool to be out here right now.
The backside of Thunder Mountain here. And there's the swing bridge. That's back, that's where they take the riverboat into dry dock back there. So that bridge actually swings out of the way for the riverboat to go into dry dock.
Richard Ellis says, hello from Minnesota. I'm at the airport waiting for my flight to Orlando. Safe travels. Richard, we hope you make it here on time, and we you're visiting Walt Disney World when you get here, and you're going to have a good time. Hopefully the weather will clear up a little bit for you. Although I got to admit, like, even though it's raining, it's a really pleasant day. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. So just don't forget your poncho and enjoy the park.
Well, I'll be. Look who's drifted out of the bayou. Off the port, Captain. It's Beacon Joe.
Thank you, Jordan, for updating us on the weather forecast. As the drizzle should subside in about 20 minutes, that would be fantastic, because that'll probably be about the time we're getting off the riverboat, so we can walk around the park a little bit more.
Which came to shop, he can navigate the Liberty Belle on a heavy move. Isn't that so, Sam? Well, I was born humble, Captain.
Thank you, Brian, for those kind words. Jill, we've got 550 people now watching the stream.
It's fantastic. Welcome, everybody. We hope you're enjoying our little riverboat cruise. You can see the train tracks for the Walt Disney Road Railroad back there, which sadly is not running. We were remarking when we walked into the park today that we hope we can ride the railroad sometime soon. Again, it's one of those things like the Liberty Boat. You don't do it all that often, but when you do it, it's so nostalgic and so enjoyable. And it's such a quintessential piece of what Walt Disney World was built on. Well, really what Disneyland was built on. Walt was a huge fan of trains. I recently met a woman. We were talking, and she grew up in Southern California, and when she was a little girl, she told me a story that her parents took her to Disneyland when she was about 6 or 7 years old, and they rode the railroad, and Walt Disney himself was driving the railroad. And I just thought that was such a cool story, and so sort of telling about who Walt was and what he loved about these parks, that he loved being there, he loved having his hands in the mix, entertaining the guests, seeing the reactions on the guest face. You know, to be honest with you, in the grand scheme of everything that's going on with Disney right now in terms of what they're giving to guests, what they're emphasizing, what they're cutting, how they've had to lay off a lot of cast members recently. I think if I would tell Disney executives anything, it's spend more time in the parks. I think that is the biggest shortcoming they face in terms of the decisions they make about what happens in these parks. They don't spend enough time here. And if they spent more time here, I think they'd understand what these parks mean to people. And not just, you know, repeat and long-term guests like us who are just huge fans, but even the day guests or the once-in-a-lifetime trip guests. I think they would understand a lot more about what Disney means to, what Disney World means to people and what they care about.
Beyond the big up that hill is their
People are asking in the chat if we can have Dippin' Doll rant merch. We have pitched the idea to Tom. Tom gets to have final say on any merchandise ideas that we're selling in Carousel of Products right now. So far, he's done a really good job. People are really loving the Secret Swiss Bobsled Training Facility shirt. They're loving that coral shirt.
So while we're driving around the back end of the Rivers of America here, those of you who are Pressing Issues fans and are going to miss me ranting tonight, I think I'm going to give you a little rant right now, since I won't be able to later tonight. Friday night we went to Disney Springs for dinner at Haleo. We took advantage of the $35 Magical Dining Month offer, which was absolutely spectacular.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommended. Haleo, it was our first time there. It was fantastic. Everything was great. What was not great was getting to Haleo.
Oh my God.
So we had someone dropping us off at Springs because we didn't want to drive and park and deal with the nightmare. And so we thought it'd be more efficient to have someone drop us off, and then we were just going to take the bus back to the hotel. We're staying at Caribbean Beach. And so the problem is that there's really nowhere to drop people off at Disney Springs. The only place that I think is that is permitted is the rideshare drop-off and pickup point, which is the old Marketplace bus loop on the back side of World of Disney. That's where the Christmas tree trail is, or was. They don't really use that bus loop for buses anymore. So the Christmas tree trail there was there over Christmas, and now that's sort of a rideshare drop-off and pickup point. That is the only place where you can actually drop someone off at Disney Springs. Now the trouble with that is that if you're coming from anywhere else on Disney property, and you're coming down Buena Vista Drive, you have to deal with all of the traffic that's coming to Disney Springs. And because the bridge to the Orange Garage is not open, what you have to deal with is everyone coming from Disney property or from I-4 to go to Disney Springs has to travel on Buena Vista Drive up almost all the way up to Hotel Plaza Boulevard and then make a U-turn to get to the parking garages. And so while it seems like it should be pretty straightforward to drive over to the Marketplace bus loop, you've got to deal with an immense amount of traffic that doesn't need to be there. That traffic does not need to go down Buena Vista Drive and make a U-turn to get into the garage. They could very easily go up the ramp and across the bridge, and all the people coming off of I-4 could just go across that bridge and go right into the third floor of the Orange Garage. But the way that they've got it set up now, that's closed. And I have not yet been able to find a reason why it's closed, but it makes a nightmare traffic situation on Buena Vista Drive, essentially from Typhoon Lagoon all the way down to Hotel Plaza Boulevard. It is just an incredible traffic jam every Friday and Saturday night from about 5 p.m. on. And so I was so frustrated that I said to Jill, I don't even want to come to Springs anymore. I mean, sure, there's good restaurants there, but it's such a hassle, I don't want to go anymore. And certainly I'm not going to drive there. That's a nightmare. Totally a nightmare drive to Springs. I would not at all recommend driving to Springs if you don't have to. If you're staying on property, take a bus. You might think the buses are inefficient. I'll tell you one thing, you'll get to Springs quicker by taking a bus than any other mode of transportation possible. Other than walking from Saratoga Springs. But if you're staying anywhere else on Disney property, I highly recommend taking a bus until they get this traffic situation figured out and reopen that bridge to the Orange Garage. Yeah, they close at 10, and so you can't be there. You obviously can't be there that late. I think obviously, as with most places, the clientele does change as the night goes on. The fact that they close at 10, the fact that they close at 10 probably eliminates some of that, but they are extending their hours now till 11.
Long overdue.
Which is long overdue, because I mean, we were at Haleo. By the time we were done dinner, we couldn't go anywhere else at Springs. Everything was closed.
It's really frustrating. I've noticed a lot of situations here where Disney is making it really hard for you to give them your money. Like, whether it's keep why Springs, I mean, when Springs closes at 10 o'clock, there are thousands of people in Springs. There are thousands of people who still want to shop, who still want to eat. If they can get there at all, as Jason has said, the parking situation is obscene. If they can get there at all, they want to be there and they want to shop and they want to give people, they want to give Disney money, but they can't because Springs closes at 10 o'clock on a Friday and Saturday night. There are plenty of restaurants that are still closed. I mean, if you're in Hollywood Studios, it is near impossible to find somewhere that you can eat without having to wait hours. It's just, Disney makes it really difficult to give you their money.
So
Them your money.
somebody asked in the chat, the rideshare drop-off point near House of Blues, that is not open.
That's where we tried to go, and they turned us right around and sent us back.
Yep, that's the first place we tried to get dropped off, and that didn't work. So, yeah, for whatever reason, that's not open either. They claim like there's restricted entrances because they need to do temperature checks, but realistically, they could still do temperature checks at all those entrances. They would just split up the people they have doing temperature checks now to more locations. So that's really, I think, just a logistical problem that they haven't solved or don't feel like solving. We can see the end of the Haunted Mansion line now is somewhat reduced from where it was. It's right here at the riverboat dock. A cast member is right there with the end of the line sign for Haunted Mansion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure buses run from Springs till at least 11, because like I said, it was after 10 o'clock and we took a bus back to Caribbean Beach. So, and honestly, at 10 o'clock at night, we had to wait for 3 buses to get back. That's how crowded it was. That's how many people were going back to the Caribbean Beach Resort from Springs at like 10:30 at night. We had to wait for the 3rd bus. Here we go. And thankfully, we're off the ship, and the rain has really let up quite a bit from what it was about halfway through our journey. It's back to what it was before we got on, which is just a very, very light drizzle. Not even any need for an umbrella at this point. There's the end of the Haunted Mansion line. Right over here near the Diamond Horseshoe.
Somebody in chat asked, do you think it would be easier to get to Springs if minivans were still running?
That's a good question. I think what that really comes down to is where the minivans would be able to drop you off.
They drop you off at rideshare too.
If the minivans drop you off at rideshare, then it wouldn't be any easier or harder than to take an Uber, which is effectively what we ended up doing. We got dropped off at the rideshare. The biggest problem on our trip was that we wanted to go to...
Walk up through Fantasyland.
We're going to walk up through Fantasyland. The biggest problem on our trip was we wanted to go to Halea, which is all the way over near House of Blues, and the rideshare drop-off on that side of Springs was not open. So, depends on where you want to go. I mean, if you want to go to World of Disney, then taking a rideshare and getting dropped off at the Old Marketplace bus stop is super efficient. The biggest problem is the traffic on Buena Vista Drive. Now, if you're coming from somewhere that's like Magic Kingdom direction and you can get to Springs back by taking the road out past Old Key West and Saratoga Springs and coming in from that side, that's really the way to do it, because that is not going to be any traffic. If you've got to drive on Buena Vista Drive, you're definitely going to hit traffic on a Friday or Saturday night. I'm all right.
Let me tell a quick story.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the camera for a second as we walk up here through Liberty Square. Memento Mori is up ahead. But while we were on the riverboat, as we were getting off, somebody in chat mentioned that they like my mask. It's an Alice in Wonderland mask that I got from the Machado Farm Foundation. I want to give a shout out to them because they are a animal welfare and education foundation in Polk County, Florida. Shout out to our editor-in-chief, Jessica Figueroa, who pointed them out to me. They make awesome Disney masks. I think they're $7. And proceeds from the sale of the mask go to their animal foundation. They provide sanctuary for farm and exotic animals. And they make super cute masks. So check them out online, Machado Farm Foundation. If you're going to buy a mask and you want a little bit of that money to go to a good cause, that's a good place to do it. And like I said, they have some really cute Disney masks you can check out.
This is the line right now to get into Memento Mori. It wraps all the way around.
Celebrity sighting.
Oh, look at that. Celebrity over there. Huh. Neat. That's the line to get into Memento Mori. It's a pretty long line. Thankfully, it's not raining, so waiting in that line wouldn't be too bad. But this line that we're looking at right here with these social distancing markers on the ground is the line for Peter Pan's flight.